Welcome to the Rose Garden, the safe space for your soul. My name is Kat, and today I'm doing a very important session here. I hope it will help a lot of people. So please, I will ask you in advance, like the second you like it, please, okay? I think it's very important because upon this theme, there's so many misunderstanding which really burdens like masses on earth, really. So forgiveness, where can I start? Well, I'm doing this reading on Pentecost. Ooh, confirmation. And this speaks about the descension of the Holy Spirit. So the higher energy descending into the apostles who carry the Holy Spirit here on earth, right? Make space for the higher energy. And basically that's what forgiveness is about. Because, to make it plain and simple, as long as you hold on to your pain and hurt, you have a connection to that. And there's a constant channel. It's in your field. Okay, it's in your field. And so actually there are some people saying, well, you know, wisdom comes after disappointment and stuff like that. And that's the misunderstanding. No, after disappointment, we really have to release that and clear the field, because this is our freaking field, right? And it should be a loving field where we plant joy, happiness, connectedness, everything, right? Everything. And forgiveness, obviously, it has to do with life a lot of the time, like what's happening around us. And we tend to blame, you know, other people or life. And to be honest, yeah, very often there might be things that are just as simple as stealing, you know, or accidents where it's really like, why I hadn't caused that. So that's the first thing I want to address. Karma is very often misunderstood as you deserve that, right? No, that's not at all what that is. Not at all. So karma translates to the law of action, yes. And it means, yes, on the long haul, what you give out, and I don't mean like the energy you give out. For example, this guy is pretty exhausted, maybe, right? Because he's carrying so much. And this would not mean that you cause exhaustion in other people, because you are doing very necessary work here, I guess, bringing all your 10 wands home here, right? So this is a good deed, and someone else is released because you took on all this responsibility doing the work. And so the energy you cause with that action, which in this case might very well be, you know, release. Like you carrying that brings a release for someone else maybe, or it creates stability, right? Whatever it is, that feeling will find you, you know, later on the lane. And what we do not know from our earthly perspective is how we are all intertwined, and how we also chose a specific path to strengthen us, because this guy is strengthening his muscles, right? His strength, like physically. This is physical strength. This is, I mean, he really does not need, I guess, a motivation shot in the morning to get his ASS out of the bed, right? Because he knows what he's doing and why he's doing it, because he knows exactly where to bring the stick. So this is someone very capable of doing the work. And so to become that, he probably had some experiences in his life on his journey where he might have said, oh wow, that was unfair, that was harsh, now I have a lot to do, more on my plate than I deserve, or it's unfair, you know, someone betrayed me and now I have to work double, or whatever, right? Whatever. But through that, whatever it was, he gained his strength. And sometimes we do have nice soul contracts, you know, on a soul level, where, okay, one is getting the strength he needed, and other, like, collateral damages kind of can be repaid maybe, you know, or other people are learning another lesson through that. And yeah, so whatever it is, we are all intertwined. And yes, in the present moment, you can influence your karma through your action. And the first thing you can do is not blaming karma, right? But kind of act and try to just change your perception of what's happening. For example, if you do have to do a lot of work, then see that that gives you so much strength, and that probably you will need that strength later, maybe to hold that realm together, right? Or to have strong boundaries to protect that. Wonderful, right? Because it does not, yeah, it's all connected, right? It's all connected. We cannot have only the sugar, I guess. It's what, to put it simple. And the Wheel of Fortune is the number 10 in the higher arcana, and it's linked to the chakra, which regulates karmic baggage in between people, right? So not your own, because that's the Hermit. The Hermit is the soul-searching person who dives deep into soul history, into memories, into past lives, and through doing that can download skills literally from past lives and better themselves. But this energy here, this is about you and other people, you and life. It's literally, we see it in all cards. There are some kind of surroundings, or yeah, it's, yeah. And the 10 speaks numerologically that you go back to source, basically. And that's, of course, what karma is doing, right? We bring it back to source. So, but the karmic wheel, of course, you know, we do have all phases here, right? And the wheel needs to be like oiled, right? Flowing. We very often hear like being in the flow, that's good, right? Yes, it is, because then you move with the energy and you act on what's in front of you, and you are one with your world. And of course, you know, there is a point in changing our world and making it better, you know, and transforming it. Yes, of course. And that's actually why we do this reading, to transform this situation you're in. And to do that, you have to really release these situations out of your field, right? If you feel like I'm undeservingly burdened or I'm undeservingly hurt, then you hold grudges within you, which creates a line, or as we see it right here, it's in your field, right? It's in your freaking field. And I want to do a field clearing basically with you. And so that you can do that consciously, I ask the cards what needs to be forgiven and what can be released, right? What can be released. And I also will ask like what you need to remember just to keep you safe. Like, what's the learning lesson, you know? What's the goodie in the situation, literally? What's the reward, like the soul growth there? And what needs to be remembered. And this whole reading is not at all about forgiving someone else, though other people are very often in the picture, right? But what we want to do is we want to release our personal grudge, and that goes with a very simple wording. You can say, I release my right to punish you, like to pay you back, right, for whatever they did to you. And if you say that sentence, or just while you were listening, while I said that, maybe some people, you know, show up in your mind, a name or a person, a visual of a person, and then you know, like, yeah, I'm holding a grudge right there. I'm angry at this very person, like someone who betrayed you or whatever. You are angry at them. And as long as you are angry, your energy goes there. And that's a way how energy is siphoned from human beings. Holding on to trauma. It's very common. Like, it's one of the main sources for negative forces to kind of keep you stuck in trauma. And all the things about, like, what's their karma for hurting me, that gets you nowhere, because you want them to be punished, right? So it's like you not accepting what had happened, but you want to force the universe basically to undo it. If you think about that, like, real thoroughly, if we want a karmic that there is something, you know, be done from the universe to get the scales even, that means that we are not trusting, and we want the control. We kind of, it comes totally from ego, right? Totally. It comes totally from a wounded place. And yes, of course, we are wounded, but the goal in this card is to let go of control and to let go of the very thing, our ego, and understand, oops, the light is here. It's like the all connecting and penetrating light. It's like it's woven into everything. And so even this moment, you know, and it's not, yeah, this too shall pass because, you know, it's just a bad experience. No, it's really, let's feel into it. What have we really gained? Like, what inner strength have we gained? And yes, I get it. Sometimes it's really just an attack, right? Someone stole from you, or it's a hex or curse or whatever, what you want to break. But still, clinging onto that gives the thing more energy, really. The only way out here in the card is into the light right there. And I'm not speaking about bypassing, but I'm speaking about I release my personal right to punish you, and I just release that into the field, out of my field, right? I take it out of my field. And then I must not constantly think about how can that be balanced, because it's not up to me even to decide that. Life will find a way, you know, the universe. I mean, who are we that we think that from one lens, from one perspective, we can kind of overlook it all and find the best? No, we can't. We just can't. And so we have to trust. And yeah, it has a lot to do with trust and safety, and really trusting the universe and that all will be well. And so the underlying theme, if we have problems with forgiveness, is of course that we have problems with trusting, right? And I was called to take an orange candle, which is sacral chakra, and this is also, of course, I just saw it. And we are literally called to go in the middle here, just as I said, with the light there. So it's like we go in the middle, and in the middle it's like, okay, we accept, like whatever there is, we accept that, right? We accept all stages, and we also accept that it might change. And that's a thing why, you know, people who have experienced that, then they reject that wonderful, beautiful, loving experience. Why? Because they are in constant fear that that might happen again. Why? Because they hadn't released that feeling out of their field yet. That's what I said, like wisdom comes after the disappointment. No, that's BS. Wisdom comes after we have transmuted the disappointment, actually. So this is very, very important. It will help you so much to just let that go, right? Let that go, and let the need to control go at that place, and also let the need for justice as you perceive it in your mind, because that's all about ego death here. Let that go. That's actually the learning lesson with this experience, is it's not up to you, right? Your ego is cannot stand, you know, against whatever happens. So it is a very, very important lesson, actually. Yeah. And if we do have a karmic board clearing, then this chakra, you know, which is on top of our head, switches underneath our feet and forms a new level of safety, which really keeps you, like grounds you. So it is very often there are life experiences literally kind of locked away, and some things need to happen before. You know, you need to go through whatever life threw at you. And then when you are through them, then yes, you can fully release them and understand, now I earned something, I got something, I earned strength, I earned some inner values and virtues, and now I'm, you know, with unwavering faith, I bring all my wants home, right? This is that energy. And I trust that the divine knows best, and that after every rock bottom, there comes a new morning, you know. It is dawn. So it's really believing in the rising after the falling. And yeah, I understand there are deep, deep wounds, even deep spiritual wounds in there. And that's why I'm doing this reading, to help releasing these wounds. So we will ask what needs to be released. I mean, what's ready, right, to be released. And it's all up to you. And it has nothing to do with taking someone back from the past, or, you know, making compromises or anything like that. No, no, no. It's just about you. Just about you. And that's the whole purpose of forgiveness. It's taking full responsibility for your own situation. And yeah, you know, in these situations, there very often was a lack of boundaries. And yeah, I get it. Very often we couldn't have them, right? Because we were in situations where it was unfair from the beginning. But at least we then see where the boundaries need to be built. And some of us are actually here to really transform society into installing different boundaries in whatever way, you know, in relationships, in groups, however. So it depends on our purpose. But yeah, first and foremost, it's about taking responsibility, which means taking our authority over our life back. Stepping in the center here and accepting, yes, that's all my life. I experienced that. That's mine. It's in my field. So yes, it's mine, and now I can like sort it through as if you would sort through your home and put all old clothes out, like put these emotions out if you feel you don't need to stare at them anymore, right? If they don't fit. And this is what we want to look at. And I also will speak the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is also very misunderstood. So it has not so much to do with forgiving someone else, but it is all about self-forgiveness, really. Literally, we speak with the field, or you can also say with your higher self or with God. But I like to really, I personally speak a lot with the field, but in this case, it's very much about your inner child, your higher self, like the true you, right? The true you. It's like a little talk with the human, with all these experiences and all things, how we didn't protect ourselves correct, which kind of comes sometimes, and how we maybe did not do what would be the best for us, right? And we let ourselves be led astray or manipulated or whatever. And there is guilt in that if we have experienced these things, because we kind of feel, well, we shouldn't have allowed that to happen. And so this prayer comes in also with repentance, which is a very high frequency. And yeah, self-forgiveness, right? And that helps to transmute, or let's say that allows transmutation. If we own up, like, yeah, I could have acted differently. Okay, now I see it. Next time I won't end up like that. Next time I mean, I love that card, but so, and the prayer, you know, it is, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And 222 right now, I love that. And I personally add for myself an answer from my higher self. I mean, I just channel that like that. And so the answer then is, thank you. I forgive you. I am happy. I love you. And that literally is my soul, my higher self, my inner child coming through and saying, yay, thank you for freeing me from all these burdens. And yes, I trust you again to come forward and, you know, rebuild life. Now we can rebuild, we can transfigure whatever there was, because we release what didn't work. You know, you cannot build that house with these ingredients. We need some pentacles, right? To build that, like some bricks, literally. Yeah. We cannot build paradise from pain, I want to say, right? Paradise is built from joy. So we need to go back into joy, right? Joy. Hi guys. So I intended to do a pick a card for this type of video, but group 1 was over 2 hours and so I just do separate videos. Okay, so here you can see the groups I already have shuffled out, and the other 2 groups will show up later. So maybe this is just a collective thing we work through, you know, one after the next. I'm not sure, but for sure it will be just correct as always. And now you can enjoy the first message, which I will call you group 1, so just so you know why I do that. And yeah, but it is a single video, you know, a collective message, and I guess if you're here, it's yours. Okay, you saw the thumbnail, so if you were drawn to that, that's your message today. And the others may come up later, we don't know yet. Hi group 1. Good morning, I want to say. It is morning at my place. A wonderful sunny morning, which goes so well with life is meaningful. That's your go-to. That's why you do that, what you do right now. So this reading is for you to see and feel the meaning of life again, maybe after pain, right? So I see absolutely this strong movement forward into just your life, and you have freed yourself here from a lot, I guess. And it actually literally says liberty. Liberty. And just see how your crown is connected to the divine. It's amazing. Amazing. And you are like all in this night sky blue. You are the universe, kind of. I feel you are your higher self, literally. And it's like you can now step into a new life. I wouldn't be surprised if the World card comes out for you. So you have kind of the full freedom to choose. So it's all your choice. And maybe you don't see that because you've been through the desert or the valley of the death or whatever, right? There was, or Dark Night of the Soul, right? So not much meaning in here, I guess, around you in the 3D. But that's actually, of course, what happens. We bring it all down to then plant ours. And see, you are right at the threshold here. This figure is right before she moves out here. And I didn't got any tarot decks yet, but I shall tell you what I did between filming the intro and now. So I was all of a sudden, I was totally, literally forced. So my higher selves and my guides, they of course also, put me onto 3D tasks if necessary. And they are like, now it's time for that. And so, yeah, and yesterday, all of a sudden, while I was actually wanting to do this reading, I had to make the university the paperwork for my son to get there, right? And it's all online, and we just had to create some documents for him, about him. And it's really interesting because it fits so much. It's like creating a bias and saying, what do you want? What's your favorites? Like, what's your hobbies? What's your favorites? And actually, that's always what we are asked to do when we are manifesting. And when you want to build your purpose, like you are at that threshold, right? It's all about you now. You create your purpose. So sit in a dark room, literally, and then you can't write so well on your phone maybe. So sit wherever you want in stillness, maybe out in the sunshine, in a park, I don't know where you can calm down best, and then just go within, right? In your all, and tune back kind of in before I was born state as much as you can do that, and then connect with your, it's all about your innate gifts, what you are born with. So that's your higher self, your true inner child. And also you can think, of course, that's my first go-to when I teach and coach, like, what did you enjoy doing in childhood? How would you relax? How would you spend your time if you were alone? And what would you prefer or have preferred doing, right? And what were you mocked for? What were you called out for? Because that's your biggest strength, like literally. And yeah, and that keeps us small, right? Totally. Like that small, right? So your parents literally and your surroundings, and it's their purpose, kind of coming from the dark side, right? The darkness, of course, wants to dim your light and wants to keep you small, and maybe even, ooh, we haven't lit the flame yet. you get a blue one, because Archangel Michael is here with us. He literally said hi before I started the reading, and it was then also 9:11 when I clicked play. And he said, his first message was, your purpose is protected. And now that makes so much sense for me, because that's this group. Your purpose is protected. It always was. And while you were, you know, battling, struggling, walking through here, it was always right here behind you, hanging. Oh, wow. So your soul family, your star family kept it safe. Can you see that? Yes. Wow. And it's like you are part of this divine orchestration here and of the angelic realm. You're part. That's your true home, your true family, right? And this is your real, yeah, your home, right? I guess you know that. And now you're here to take a seat, to play a role, whatever that is. I just saw you taking an instrument like a violin or something and stepping onto stage. So now we just have to find out what's your violin, right? What's your tone? What's your unique frequency right here to play? And then play your song. And your purpose is very meaningful. It's not just that life is meaningful, but this is literally, I mean, how I started the reading, and also the energy I was in, like with my son, you know. I mean, I'm responsible like a guide for the future and the purpose of my son, so that it can unfold best, because I'm not of the dark, right? And I'm not here to diminish and yeah, extinguish his light or whatever, but I'm here to enhance his flame. And I, of course, have experienced it the opposite way. You know, I grew up under severe pressure. And I also, yeah, I had that example. So just that, you know, whenever I was calling BS out in my family, 741 right now, detoxification, right? And I could see that. So I was literally doing the shadow work since early childhood, and I was super connected. And so I wasn't lost, you know, never. Like when I listen to videos about narcissistic imprints and abuse and what that does with people, I'm always like, well, actually, I kind of could stand against that. So it didn't got me like that, right? I was all the time, though my mother was really doing all she could to put me like down and like stamp me out, I want to say. Flames were everywhere, you know? And I was kind of unstoppable as a kid. And so my days would start in the kitchen with a discussion, right, where she wanted to put me down. And I then was immediately forced into battle in the early morning and, you know, to call that out. And instead of saying, no, you know, I'm not like that, and just battling, I was pretty smart as a kid. And I always got her kind of where she made the false assumption and where it wasn't correct, right? I kind of came from above, and I kind of feel that energy here. I don't know how it relates, but it's like you're not battling here, right, at that level, because you hang here connected, right? That's the thing. If we are connected, then the BS, what's happening in front of our nose, it's not that relevant for us, for, you know, our identity, I want to say. So I feel like you never lost your identity, because you're all true blue here, right? It's very, very amazing card, actually. Like, I love it so much. And So you always were, you know, the high priestess, connected and channeling the higher realms. That's what the high priestess is doing. Like she's just a portal to the other world, and that's you. And you've always been that. But now it's about to really fully understand, wow, like, wow, I do have gifts and skills here that I'm maybe playing too small with, right? 144 right now. Yes, 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 the seeds within. And the only deck I've been called to take out already is the Sacred Seeds, my own manifestation deck, what we will use in a second, to see what we can do with these seeds, right? That's all about what might have been stamped down. So can I have another example for what? Oh, maybe with tarot. Okay, now all of a sudden a bunch of decks are coming through. Okay, that's nice. And I also have to tell you, while I was shuffling so thoroughly, you know, this Hawkins scale of frequencies, first what happened, two piles flew out, and I was hearing that's for group 1. And so this is actually yours here, and this is for your person. So we will look in, and I haven't, you know, totally fully planned the makeup of this reading, because it's the first time I do this forgiveness reading, but there is a link to another person, I guess your soul, you know, connection, counterpart, soulmate, twin flame, whatever it is. You would know for whom this is, right? And this is what they need to kind of forgive and release. And this is your path to forgiveness. And as I see that, or as I saw that, I absolutely understood. It's like, and this might be the thumbnail actually, like your path to forgiveness. Because it's literally a kind of a guide, I feel, how we can do that and why. And for you, the reason is because life is meaningful. And you're literally, your path to forgiveness is to tune back into bliss. I want to keep that out here also. And your person, that's reverence. So they have to honor you. And I feel it makes so much sense with that, because this will literally help you unlock your hidden gifts. Wow, have you seen that? The Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups belongs in your group here. I shuffled that 3 times, and it was always underneath the deck and together with the Magician actually. So that's your cards. Ooh, and the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, yes. And here we do have the Battle. Let's just look real quick. Oh yeah, they want to say sorry. See, this is your person coming through. They wounded you. Oh, oh, 222 right now. Okay, so here's the whole storyline. I'm not sure how deep we want to go, but actually this is you. And this makes so much sense with the Magician and life here, because this is you creating your new life. And they will or shall bring in their divine masculine essence here to help fuel that purpose. That's what's necessary here. Like, your purpose needs to be fueled, right? So it's all about your freaking purpose, okay? So, and as I said, these forgiveness readings, it's not about, yeah, you shall forgive them so that you then, you know, can move in together or something like that. Moving in together, that has nothing to do with real inner union or something like that, because real inner union, that's actually us uniting with our higher purpose. And that came through here in front of this reading. So this is kind of you before forgiveness, and this is you after forgiveness. It's literally you tuning into a higher version of yourself. That's what this reading is about, right? So yeah, but there is a bond, a link, and yeah, that's kind of what they need to do. And I want to kind of stop at the Sun, though everything else here is also very relevant, right? You had to alchemize a lot, and yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's not the reading we are doing, right? So that's why we are not doing that. But there is a whole story of heartbreak. But let's get out these. Just to have the energy on the table. And on top, we actually have Archangel Michael saying, you're safe, you're blocked, you're good. And whatever had happened there, it's none of your concern, basically, okay? Because that's actually their journey. And that's what they have to work through, right? So, but it's kind of linked to what you're doing, okay? So now let's see, what are you actually doing? What are you actually doing right now? Ooh, I love that, how that came through. Wow. I love that. So here's a big storm going on to overcome fears. Wow. That's great. So now we know why the cage is there and why it's that small there. You know, when we keep ourselves too small, why that is? I guess you know that, right? Because of fear. Fear. And so I have to go back into, you know, me, my mother, home, early morning, breakfast, all that. And instead of getting a good morning, hi, have you slept well? Here's breakfast. Have you everything for school? Which would be normal, right? I woke up with, you're late already. And then it was like as if I'm kind of dirt standing in the kitchen in her way. So she never kind of wanted to interact with me at all. She just wanted to have me out of the way to prepare herself for her day. And so I kind of learned, and I'm just called to free channel, right, into the energies I'm feeling. I was learned to not take up space, and now we are back there. So what have you kept small? Where have you kept yourself small? I already see where this is going towards, like, it's going towards, like, as I said, you know, you taking your violin, like first violin, and go on stage because it's your turn. But to be able to do that, you must fully understand that these gifts are valid, and you must not hide them, you must not diminish them, push them away, make yourself small. And see, this is the wind of destiny here, the storm fields. The storm card, that's not a good or bad card, it's just, it's storm, so that means the field is changing, just as we see it here. And I bet it's changing for the better, with bliss and life is meaningful, right? Right? And this whole story here was kind of a catalyst to free your gifts. I can feel that clearly. And we do have here also, you know, storm, but the sunlight, and the sun comes through after the storm. So, yeah, very, 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 very clear message already. Yeah. So I grew up literally like Harry Potter with Aunt Petunia and Uncle, how was he even called? So though my mother, she was living alone, she had divorced my father because she, you know, preferred to not be bothered. And my father was actually a 𝓢𝓸𝓾𝓵 series, and he chose that life to learn how to move out of 10 of Swords energy into Page of Swords. So that might be a thing here because I mentioned that. Let me get that out. Wow, interesting. And you know, while I was shuffling this deck 3 times, and always the Ace of Cups underneath the deck, this must have switched around somehow, because it was not turned, but like that, like face down. Wow. So we are digging out some, you know, things of your family, as I was tuning in all the time, like family of origin, support, your support system. Literally, we are speaking support system here, which wasn't there, right? So I would assume, and you can tell me, I can relate, we can talk about that, your stormy childhood here, whatever it is, right? And as I said, my father chose this life where he was married to my mother, who was our common enemy. and he chose that to be able to transcend pain and learn how to stand on his own and study, you know. And interestingly, he was doing aquarelle paintings, and I'm just seeing that now for the first time. All the time, like in every painting, there were these soft green hills, right? And I guess that has something to do with his homeland, like star family homeland. But yeah, he was always painting like very sweet, soft green hills, just like that one. And he was a very, very sweet, peaceful person, but with a lot of fear. And he actually called me in to support him also. And I felt that a lot. So that might be a gift here for this group, to be able to get people out of these situations, because you've been there, you've done that, and you can do that. And that's exactly, by the way, what I was channeling, what I was telling you when I was sitting at the breakfast table, and already I had to fight. And already, you know, I had to start like every day like that. That was what I was talking about. Like, I had to be on top of the game and clearly channel what's really going on there. And then I had to name, well, this is, you know, like, this was a false accusation because, you know, and you shouldn't. And I was not at all addressing the wounds, but I was addressing the act of hurting me. And that's very smart to do, right? Not react directly to the wound as if the wound wouldn't bother me at all. And I understood that was key, because if you live with an attacker who gets their energy out of that, like a very bad person, right? Who, yeah, it's malevolent, right? When people really get their energy out of hurting. It's also sadistic, right? We can just name it as it is. But there are people who like to be on top. And there are a lot of sports games where we have that, where we see that playing out in a kind of half-civilized way, because we have rules and it's a game, then it's called a game. But some sports games are very cruel. And I've been shown, like literally right now, like a sport lesson where we also had a wow, group 1. What's that about here? So there was one girl in my school earlier. She came from England, and I wanted to say with these hills, it also looked like England, you know, Great Britain. Wow, somehow. So there is a link here. Maybe past life, or you come from Great Britain. You would know. And so this girl, she was called Camilla, and she was like double sized than we were. Like, she was older and much bigger, and really a big person. And she was quite a bully, actually. And she picked a few girls as her friends. Unfortunately, also me, she wanted to pick as first. And I was like, I don't like that. But she had kind of a way of asserting herself. And, you know, first when you don't know people, you get to know them, right? You hang out a little bit. And so, yeah, first I was a little bit open, I guess. But very quickly I saw how she was just about cruelty. And in sports, for example, I remember there was a lesson with a ball, and she literally threw the ball, and it hurt me. And I felt it was on purpose, though she claimed she wanted to be my friend. So she surely had a sadistic undertone, and I never ever felt the need to mention the word sadistic in a reading, like really never ever before. So group 1, that's severe here, right? Severe past pain you have overcome, and with all the gifts, that makes so much sense, because if someone is very gifted, for sure there might be a witch wound. And what that means, you know that, right? That means torture. Okay. So, and we learn, of course, on the deepest level, to not give too much to a physical experience. And we learn to stay true to who we are, no matter what. And I really mean no matter what. So, yeah. And this Camilla person, so that was the first thing where I understood, well, she's not a good person. And I confronted her then, as I would confront my mother, you know, until we really have proof, like, yeah, it was intentional. And then the next thing, what happened, we went out into town, and then we were in a warehouse, and then she was like, so, and now you have to, you know, steal something here. And we were in the makeup section, like a lipstick or whatever. And I was like, what, why? Why should I want that? Like, there's no reason to do that. And she really wanted that, you know, and that's interesting, right? Because that's literally gang stalking and claiming obedience and all these kind of crazy things. Like, you have to do what I say. Very crazy. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Of course I don't. And I'm not interested in a friendship with you. And I only was that strong, I guess, to put up against her, though she was double size as me, and, you know, kind of impressive yeah. But, you know, I was used to being threatened, actually. So threatening, that's not anything what gets to my core, you know. I can stay very stable, and so this is the thing here. So because you have experienced so many threats, and I gave you a nice example, and you can tell me yours, you can stand against anything and hold your ground. And the magician, of course, I mean, this is a very, very powerful position you're in here. Because being the magician, that literally means you create your own world. And this was what my father wanted to learn. Like, how can I stand up against that? And my father, now that he's here on the table, he grew up with severe punishment. Like, they had it was like an art form. They had behind their wardrobe, they had an arsenal of kind of weapons to wait, there is a word. So I will just read all translations because it's kind of an old wording and it makes sense with Great Britain, because Great Britain back in the day, that was all about kind of black education. And that's the thing here, black education, teachers punishing you. And while I was seeing the vision of Camilla working with the ball, I also got a little vision of a sports teacher we also had for a period of times, who was very much into children, if you know what I mean. And he would also use the ball to kind of throw it at the girls and to hit them at their vulnerable spaces. And he got pleasure out of that, I must say. So yeah, I had the fortune or misfortune. I mean, I wanted that, right? I chose that for myself. I had a school in, you know, teachers, they belong to the government and you cannot get rid of them fully. The only thing you can do with a teacher who isn't good, acceptable, you can suspend them, but then they go to another school, right? And I was at a school where all suspended teachers of the whole country were assembled. So imagine you have like a like a menage of crazy people. I grew up with that, like a whole menage. And it was 88 teachers, and I would say 8 were half human and 80 were just beasts, like one in one way or the other. There were also some of them who were just super sweet. So we had a biology teacher who was just super into drugs. That's why they had suspended him. But he was one of the good guys. Like, he was a superstar seed and so nice. And he traveled the world and had wonderful shows he would put on in class. And we could just travel the world with him because he had made, like back in the day, you know, it's very, very long ago when he traveled the world. And there wasn't video cameras, but he made pictures and recorded audio. And so he had something what he called an audio visual show for us. So we would see on big screen in classroom, like one picture after the next. And while he was playing the audio, where he was there with his wife and they, you know, were exploring the world, like Galapagos Islands and whatnot. And so that was really, really amazing. Again, the connection to the ancient worlds, like super strong, super strong. So we are speaking really like the extremes here, right? The extremes. So you are super connected to the divine, and whatever you went through, all these 10 swords here, it's just because you can. And it was, I feel, just a reminder. I really see like lifetime after lifetime, and just like, oh yeah, that's that pattern, oh that's that, I know that one, like. And I felt that with all these teachers, like, oh okay, so you're this type of evil, and you're that type, you know. It was more like that. And I was kind of, yeah, I mean, in the end I had to leave that school, but there was a time where they made me class speaker. And then there was a time where I was supposed to be the new school speaker, and that was the time where they get afraid of me and they had to create something to get me out there. Yeah, but so it was a big war there really going on. And I don't know why I'm telling you so many things about my life here, but that's, and I said, you know, I'm not sure what tarot to use, but see, the divine uses my memory here. And yeah, it's so important. And I guess with what I told you right now, it's important to see what had happened to you from a different perspective. 444. So first, you were always safe, and see it just like watching a movie. What I just said, like you had the visuals and the audio to it to make sense of it and to kind of sort it in. And he had these, you know, diyas where they are like framed, and then you sort them into boxes and see all your experiences like that. Like you can sort them into the box, and that's your data. And also I feel like every little, like every thought, like every image you went through in, you know, your valley of the death here, which felt like, you know, torture or whatever, that's just like a gateway into your multiverse, into a past life. And so you are kind of the group. I have that, I guess, set in 2 other readings already. And I'm hearing it again. It's like after battle stand. So maybe you heard me saying that before. So that's kind of, yeah, after battle stand, because and there is a meaning to all what happened, right? And the meaning might even just be to unlock your gifts from these past lives, because there is a bridge, right, through your memories. If you tune into that lifetime, then you get that gift downloaded. And that's a powerful work. And I have experienced that myself. Of course, the witch wound, that's all about that, right? We have to tune into that and to then be able to stand there and say, yeah, actually, yes, I do magic. And I mean, these days it's called manifesting, right? But that's a witch, basically, a manifester, that's a sorcerer, that's a witch. But you also understand destiny and how we are all linked, and that we cannot just stand there and only, you know, do like singular what we want, but we are connected. And so there is a thing of kind of, you know, fate and destiny playing out. But these things are kind of essential to learn and to fuel our water. What I see with all the sorts is it's the minerals that fuel the water and that make your water more fertile, right? And very often I feel it's misunderstood, and people think like, well, you know, life isn't that good yet, or manifestations aren't coming in. But what they don't see, really, they are prepared. And if you, for example, manifest money or something, then first you must be able, of course, to be able to hold money. Same with love. And there is not such a big difference between money and love. It's just, you know, unconditional something, which is all around us, the abundance of the elements and the abundance of, you know, of the divine. And it's all there, right? Always. But there is this thing called literally, and we had that, of course, in the intro. It's the gateway where we release karmic baggage, and where you can see that like a main station or something, and one train needs to go in this direction, the next train there, and it's like we put all these packages and put them on the trains and send them here and send them there. And it's kind of, you did that a lot. And now you are standing literally there where everyone wants to stand. And now you are able to manifest just from the future. Like, life is meaningful. Life is meaningful. Bliss. Now you can tune into your future and really do that, I guess, manifesting. And it was all about your underworld here needed to be cleared, so that you have kind of, you know, the ancestral wounds here. So I guess you have volunteered to heal ancestral wounds and to also, you know, cleanse past life issues here and stand strong, like stand strong against something. Maybe someone you couldn't stand up against earlier. Like maybe, again, the example with this Camilla, right, from England. Maybe she was someone in a past life who were really over me, like who had me, right, who was on top of me and who could bully me all the time. And now I see it like that, you know, I met her, like very briefly, and I made it clear, no, you have no right to bully me. And this causes a ripple effect into that very past life where she might have bullied me all the time. And so I kind of helped my other timeline, you know, and repaired that. And that's how we work. That's really how multiverse in action works, and how you can tune in like in the underworld, in your ancestral lines, in your other lifetimes, and also, of course, make passages, create passages for the future. And you see it clearly. I mean, life is meaningful bliss, that's your go-to. Oh, now we shall look. What are you actually releasing? And it's quite heavy, I guess. So, shame. We are releasing shame. So you have been shamed, right? And this is what's hiding there. The shame has created the goblins. And goblins, that's the little dark figures built out of fear. Like, what if I'm the bad person? And it's like when you have been told, and they shamed me in school. In that very school, they did the most to shame me and to blame me with ridiculous things, like totally. But nevertheless, they did that. And when someone says something, it's a spell, right? It's a dark spell you carry around. Let's just name it. And when people project onto you, it is there. It's like when someone, you know, throws like public humiliation things, when they, oh, that's a bad scene also, when they throw things at you. And with these old England and timelines, there was this kind of punishment where people would put in the middle of town and shamed for something, and then everyone could come there and do whatever they want with them, you know? Ooh, fear. Yes, makes so much sense. That's the goblin here. And enslavement, just saying. So someone in some lifetime really had one over you, right? So where you couldn't escape. And so whatever you have experienced this lifetime, I totally forgot that card, these cards. I mean, I looked at them before, but I forgot that. But it makes sense now, right? Think about this Camilla person, or even my mother. And I always think, like, when we have these super narcissistic parents, it is like enslavement, totally, because they own you, literally. They own your body, because parents are responsible for your body. They have the rights over your life. So it is like, and I felt that. I felt that. And I felt like 17 years, I felt I had to stand up against enslavement and against this sense of ownership. And I was really fighting for my freedom. So, hello, sister, brother. Yeah. And and I read all the books, you know, like Uncle Tom and all that, and feel very, very connected with these timelines. So, yeah, it's a thing, you know, from, and Uncle Tom, that's literally that, you know, transcendent. He is the best example for transcend torture, pain, physical, and he was, you know, literally ending his life in bliss. Tuned into bliss, tuned into God. And he touched his very torturers, right? And they were in awe. Wow. Group 1, I have no idea who you are, but wow, right? Wow. And so just know, the goblins, they were created from, it's ancient, like it comes from very deep here. See, here we have again the old England, Great Britain hills here. So there is a clear connection to that timeline. And they showed me the Troubadour Tarot. So there is, for example, a card with bad mouthing. Oh, but yeah, I saw that actually while I was picking that up. Yeah, Two of Cups. So, hello. You are supposed to tune into a bliss, Two of Cups. And so your person, this is, again, this is great actually. I totally forgot about your person, but here they come in again, right? Wow. Wow. So your connection has helped you to free, I want to say, your memory, like to the bones, from very, very, very cruel timelines. Wow. And that was the soul contract. Wow. Okay, here you go. Knowledge. Here. Knowledge. Oh, 2 scrolls here. Isn't that cool? And they showed me that very deck because we have so many like contracts and stuff. But this is not what I have expected. And it even looks like an astrology chart. Wow. What I said, you know, you are creating your life, your purpose. Wow. Yeah, so that's the Hermit card here. And it says knowledge. And yeah, we do have that here. And so it seems to be really, you know, sacred, spiritual, like tuning into the higher frequencies. And with, you know, Uncle Tom, that's like, you know, being crucified, of course. Oh, how interesting is that? So this is now our Sacred Seeds deck, and this is so interesting. So it says brown noise. First and foremost, brown noise, that's wealth, like a wealthy timeline, tuning into wealth. And support, because brown noise, that's literally the soil, the support. And we spoke about that was missing. And you see here, it's all desert, no soil, because like the storms of life, ooh, that's a thing. The storms of life have taken away your soil. And that was maybe even the attack, like the purpose of the attack. And now maybe you stand there like naked, empty-handed, I don't know, because your hands are still busy freeing, you know. You're not yet here maybe with this creating abundance, because it's here in the underworld, right? But you're here to do that, absolutely, to get this abundance out of the soil. And how kind of the dark forces have attacked you throughout your life, it was with literally creating storms after storms after storms, like that kind of storms that would force you to move homes, that would force you to leave relationships, that would force you to leave a school, and all these things, right? Where you have your solid ground, where you have your watered your, you know, tend to your soil, and then gone, right? Then and starting over and starting over and starting over again, and kind of living in a constant tower moment. But just because that brown noise wasn't there, you know, the stability from beneath, right? Ancestors. What, you know, with my mother, growing up with my mother, of course, I was thinking as a kid, like, look at the normal people, like 444 right now. I was looking like at normal people, what normal people would do, and they would assemble at Sundays with aunties and whatnot. And my mother, of course, she was hating everyone, and so she just wanted to do what she wants to do, right? And she would never bother to bake a cake for someone. Never at all. And in fact, at Christmas, she would order her little sister to create something, you know, a meal. And so that we then just go there and she must not cook. So, yeah. But brown noise. Okay, brown noise. One single item can be a bridge, there we go, in another timeline, past or future. or is it all now? Its colors and textures are sending constantly subtle signals. There we go, tuning into these signals here. And so you can, and with the window, you know, you can kind of tune in. Windows are always in cards speaking about relearn, kind of, and there is the new life, right? So the new life is brown, it's fertile soil here, and it's but it's not because you, so you have a very cool manifestation technique here at hand, I want to say, and call that out. It's all about the rainbow bridge here, and you really being connected to the very divine. And this is absolutely, when karmic baggage is released, I said that in the intro, this becomes your new foundation. Here, chakra below your feet, that one. Like, here's you, and now you are here, stabilized. Wow, that's important that we laid it out like that, right? And I always do that as I shall, of course. You might have seen that in my readings. I never read just one card after the next, but I create a field where we can totally tune in. And yeah, so that's that. That was the contract, to build this rainbow bridge, to get the karmic, like literally the big trains, like remove all the pain, remove the shame, which caused the fear. And yeah, it came really from timelines of enslavement, and that's divine feminine, like collective consciousness work, as I always feel, because so many timelines, right? And I feel the shame right now. My face is burning. My face is literally burning, and I feel that how we are blamed and shamed for everything. Like, for even being a woman, you know, for even being beautiful, for just being who you are, right? And what's also very sad, I feel that a lot of the time when you do have something, you know, beautiful or whatever, other feminines kind of attack you, because everything you have, like gifts, and beauty is a gift, right? It's a divine gift. It's divine, actually. And nothing evil with being beautiful, nothing. And it's shamed, like you're this and that, like, you know, I can't say that words, but you are, you know, you are out to get someone, or you want this or you want that. But no, you're just you. You haven't chosen your body. I mean, you have, and you are carrying that for a purpose. And so it's, again, after battle stand, it's like, wear your beauty like armor. That's divine. That's your divine gift. It's one of your gifts, your beauty. So I see the posture, I see the hair, I see also, you know, a kind of slender physique, and high, like tall. But also now they show me like more the fairy type, like more smaller and fragile types. So your beauty is, of course, absolutely unique to just you. And I guess you might have gotten some stares, you know, people staring at you. And if that's happening in childhood, that might really disturb you also. And where you think something isn't okay with you, maybe even. And even growing up, you know, being a teenager and being the one people stare at, this creates discomfort, because it puts you kind of out, you know, it puts you, yeah. And so I guess we are speaking about that, because that creates a stage fear. Fear of being seen, right? Fear of being seen. And fear of also being, you know, when you are on stage and then you have fans and groupies and they want you to be a certain way, and this literally can also enslave you. You know, the public, it's like what celebrities really are like, oof. It's so, you know, you lose your privacy, and this is a thing. If you are meant for fame, you can take that as preparation so that you can always, you know, stand against that, what the public wants you to be and what everyone else sees in you. You are immune against that. I must stress that you are totally immune against if people like you and what people would want you to say or not say, or, you know, what tone your violin will play. Is it that genre or this? You know, you create your own genre, totally, because you just create your own world. And you can draw from past lives as well as the future, so you are totally tuned in. And this goes because of the connection with your counterpart. Yes. And what you can really release now and forgive, that's a thing, right? Forgive slavery, forgive being shamed, forgive being kept in existential fear. Wow, how can we even do that? I mean, that's a task. Ooh, that fall directly on enslavement. Wow. Wow, it's the death card, basically. Wow, and we do have 12-1. So the card is saying, recycling. Energy is never wasted. So even lifetimes where you might have been, you know, shattered to pieces somehow, energy is never wasted. All matter will be taken care of. And yesterday's efforts will become tomorrow's fertile soil. And didn't I said that with the brown noise? It's fertile soil, and of course I knew I have a card like that. Yes, so here you go, fertile soil. See, again, they are stressing that. Wow, like wow. Haha, I was getting a coffee, and while I was moving back, these two cards were sticking to my leg. So I feel like, okay, so this is maybe how you can move into that. And this is literally the title, right? And it says the remembrance, the rose's remembrance. And this is how, you know, this explains your connection. And it's meant to be here, right here. 3-3 right now. Yes. So even, oh, this is so, let me start again. I was getting so emotional. Ooh. Oh, and I have the window open because I felt like I needed, you know, the trains. And I mentioned that with the main station where everything is moving away. And, you know, even Harry Potter met with Dumbledore at the main station in the land in between lives, right? Where we do then can choose where to enter again or whatnot. Yeah, so this is, you're at a very powerful place, I want to say. So even if all seems to be lost and in ruins, yes. And that's another thing I was just channeling with the storm. The storm needed to destroy all remnants. You know, all these storms you had experienced throughout your life, you might have thought and be ashamed that you couldn't hold something together. Like, as I mentioned, moving a lot or relationships falling apart. But that was all on purpose, to get these rusty swords out once and for all, and to shatter even, you know, the bricks, the ruins, and then just create nice, you know, these hills. That's also like a grave hill, right? Where you, and now it's green again. The grass can grow again. put, wow, yeah, so you have put fertile soil over it now. But before, you had to get rid of everything what really was in the way there. And that's the very purpose of, you know, going through the desert and the valley of the death, basically. That's where our underworld needs to be shaken and cleansed, literally. So you cleanse that. Wow. Okay, let me read again. Yeah, I have to start again. Even if all seems to be lost and in ruins, the roses that have been planted long ago are still remembering your name. You are carrying sacred seeds. Yes. Maybe we can take that here and let them be watered. They are saying, no, put it here. Because that's literally your destiny. Okay. And with the roses remembrance, that's of course, you know, when you meet a person and you feel this strong past life connection. And then all these timelines open. And this depends totally on how deep your connection goes, like into the spiritual realm. But with the rainbow bridge, and here all these, you know, bridge again into the higher heavens. Like, yeah, I feel, you know, Andromeda and literally the cradle of the universe kind of thing, like cosmic womb thing, and holding space for all timelines. Yeah, very deep. And I love that we have that card because it's fortune telling, what we do right now. Prophecy is not prediction, but preparation. And see what you are prepared for. Life is meaningful, bliss. Tune into your brown noise. This is the knowledge again. Yeah. Your guides are prepping you so that your mind opens up to receive what the universe delivers. See, and this needs to be here. Like, you receive the frequencies of what's possible now. And you just tune into what's possible now. And it's possible because, and you need to see that, like how deep that really is and how absolutely understandable that is, that these experiences are holding you back. And here it says clearly your mind needs to be open up. Yes, and the fear and all the experiences, of course, see, all the lost battles here. And even you feeling like you have to protect yourself, right? So I feel in a minute we tune into what your person needs to release there. But first, here. Divine Feminine message. Oh, here it is. Angel Vala says time for rest and timely preparation. And I wanted to put it here. Yes. Like rest and timely preparation. How well fits that? How well fits that? So you are really called to rest a bit, right? And then let that really be like I'm feeling when you have a tool for gardening and you kind of scratch deep into the soil and then you just put, you know, these last rusty pieces, just take them out. And maybe you already did that and now you're just sitting there like resting, and you have to just understand and tune in that you are now laying on fertile ground. I mean, it says that, right? You are carrying these sacred seeds, you have fertile soil, and you can tune in there in that timeline, and you are so helped here, right? And your purpose is so protected, and it's so meaningful. Like, this life is meaningful, and all these elements here, they were meaningful too. And because of that, I guess we can release them. I feel I could. Tuning in here, right? Understanding, okay, so it was all about getting the divine feminine freed. Like this deep, raw force you are, like these seeds from, as I said, the beginning of all, right? Totally tuning into the core. Yeah, so can we have, I don't know, another tarot? Oh, they say another of these. This one? Coming apart. Yeah. That's really nice. That's just confirming that one. Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, so this card asks us to, what is falling apart, like, and see, this is kind of, absolutely, this is the half here that we let fall apart, and then the new wholeness will build itself. And so all these experiences here, this is what the reading is about, right? To let it fall away. Wow. To let it fall away. And how can we get rid of shame? I understand that these timelines are kind of finalized, where we were, enslaved and kept in fear. And it has to do with the gifts that are now to be unlocked, right? But I feel the shame, that's deeper. The shame, it's the deepest wound. No. Yes, the shame is the deepest wound. Okay, so, and the shame creates the block to not go on stage, to not speak up, to not sing your tone, to not be beautiful and seen, because you are afraid that someone, that you are persecuted for whatever reason, right? For your beauty, to take away from you, or for your power. Again, which wound, right? Sorcerer. Also, this is not gender specific here. So, and you are, of course, a sorcerer because you are part of source, right? See, and now I'm called to mention, in Greek, we do have like the 𝓢𝓸𝓾𝓵, the psychics, and the pneumatics. And a 𝓢𝓸𝓾, that's just we would say NPC, non-player character, where the spark isn't really there anymore, the god spark, the monad spark from source, they are literally running around with, well, what I see is all there is, right? I can't feel anything, I can't sense anything, so they are totally part, they are Mr. Smith, right? They have become part of the matrix because they have kind of completely lost the connection to the spark. And and then there are the psychics, and you hear that a lot, like psychic mediums who tune in, and these are people who are very often a lot into psychology and astrology, but from a mind space, and tune in like mentally, and it's like, yeah, I catched something here, and I heard something. It's this, we get chunks of the divine voice, right? We tune into a radio station, and then we get, we channel a little bit from the divine. But then there are pneumatics, and that's people who are more into energy work, I want to say, like literally physical energy work, and these are the people who are so much part of the monad, who carry so much of the divine in themselves, that it shows up in your body, like literally in you. So this is literally about embodiment, the path of embodiment of your higher self, of, you know, the spark you are. And you probably work with ascended masters, even if you don't know that. And with the shame, that's Mary Magdalene coming through here. And, you know, if someone like you, they say, if a high ranked angel, like if one of the fallen angels, and there are so many stories about fallen angels, and I just want to say the one with angels that, well, you know, they wanted to capture them here, like high beings, to source their world, which makes sense, right? The storyline. And then some tried to escape or did escape, but some were so compassionate for humanity that they kind of stayed. And I feel this is the group we are having here, like you would stay, you know, with, and you would stay through enslavement and to just support, and you would not leave them alone here on earth, you know. And it's said that if a being like that can really cleanse one of the deadly sins, this sin kind of evaporates out of humanity. And it makes absolutely sense if you think about the consciousness, you know, your consciousness, your subconsciousness, your unconsciousness, deep, 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 right there. And then also we do have collective subconsciousness, which kind of is this constant subliminal of the matrix around you, where you of course can tune out. And then we do have also a collective unconsciousness, and that's kind of where you can tune in here, in that very collective, deep, 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 you know, soil underneath unconsciousness, and where you have done all this cleansing and healing, and what you dig out there, this of course is then out there, you know, out of the consciousness. And there are other souls, I mean, doing that. So it's kind of a group assigned to a specific workload, I'm hearing. Yeah, I wouldn't have chosen that wording, but yeah, it makes sense. Like, you are chosen, or you have, you know, volunteered, however you want to see it, to separate a specific, and that was like on your desk, you know, entering life. That's like, yeah, I can do that one, and I can do that. I'm strong enough, and so yeah, and I guess you did it actually. So yay, you're good. Now, oh, that's so cool. Now I literally start tuning into bliss. Ooh. Oh, wow, so we did a thing already with this session. That's so cool. And yeah, you know, these sessions, they literally help doing the work. That's why I do it, actually. Now oh, what's that? Okay, whoa, okay, this one, okay. God is enabling. Yeah, God is enabling. Okay, thanks. Here. Goes with the hair there. And also, you know, with you, what I just said, you are enabling to recycle, to full recycle that, go full circle there. So cool. So what now? Another of the enchanted map. What's that? Enchanted map right here. Oh, this is so sweet. Protecting treasure. Now I need to cry again. Like with God is enabling and protecting treasure. Wow. Didn't I said your purpose is protected? That's so cool. But you know, you are that. And see, again, we do have the hair here. Can you see that? How crazy is that? And the hair stores the memory, right? Just like the bones. But also the hair is the antenna to tune in. Wow, that makes sense. So do extra care for your hair, right? Like deep cleanse. There are things like that. And I don't know, oil them, anoint them, right? Anoint your crown. And see how, what is that there? Some white shiny whatever. See what's raining kind of out of your hair. And here's your spirit guide protecting. Wow. And of course the ancient wisdom here. Tuning into higher frequencies. I'm not sure where to put that. I feel I want to put it right here. Yes. Still, I'm not sure with the shame if we have enough support there. Okay, angel, good. There we go. Divine timing. Okay. Okay. So the shame is necessary, right? It's a part. You were operating on divine timing. Yeah, we see that a lot, you know, with the orchestration. And I do want to put the sun right here. It's this connection, you know, to the cosmic realm. And your King of Cups here also. There is a thing with divine timing. And you are the treasure that's protected here. And the heartbreak, see, it makes so much sense. This is, by the way, this is not just heartbreak, this card. No, no, no. This speaks about truth. Hits the core. So it speaks about core wounds, but also the truth about who we are, with the sacred seeds here, and the rose still remembers your name. And also this can speak about recognition, like being, you know, like Cupid's arrow, which is truth hitting core. Like, oops, I remember you. I remember that bond. I kind of smell your name on my lips, as if I had spoken it before. I don't know. I had that a lot with my person, where I was tuning into an image and seeing them in different, you know, different lives, literally. So I feel the bond shall be renewed. But we have to absolutely shift here. That's the shift we need to do. And this is for your person, I feel. This is very cool. Now I understand that, because I remember one thing that's here, and it's apathy. And so I feel your person was feeling defeated and not acting. You know, maybe they didn't claim you, maybe they didn't act it, maybe they gave up before even trying. And maybe that's what they need to do better now, right? Come forward, do better, and protect. Stand on the higher ground now. Ooh, again, we do have a green hill. And this is literally like highlands here. Very high ground. Wow. Where it's like, it can only be one. And like, this is my treasure, right? Wow. And see, we do have anxiety. But their core wound is apathy. And apathy, this goes so well with your set of cards there, with the enslavement and the fear. And they have anxiety and apathy, right? Anxiety of losing. And they were in a very, like with apathy, that makes so much sense. God is permitting and God is indifferent. It's like, okay, like I'm not in power, right? I'm not in power. So your person was not standing in their power at all. See? And this is what they need to overcome. And this is literally, yes, I want to put that on the sun card, because this is solar plexus. This is solar plexus energy. And the anxiety comes because they are triggered through their deep emotions, as you can see, because I placed it like that, right? So the deep emotional connection has triggered their core wounds of losing it anyway. Like, I will lose that. I can't, you know. But now they need to, you know, come forward here and learn to be intentional. And that's the same what you can learn with your life, to now tune into being intentional. And there's always a mirroring effect in what we learn and what we work through, right? So, and this is that, like, now that you have cleansed out all that, and maybe you felt very ashamed because they weren't choosing you. And they weren't choosing you because they weren't choosing themselves. They were in depression and apathy and anxiety, hanging there, you know, not acting on their core. Yeah, not acting on love. But here, now, now, love heals, right? And reverence, that's just such a nice energy to really, really, really honor and value. And go for that intentional. So, yeah, that's the shift that will happen. in your connection. And I will get something for here in a second, but just let's see here 919. So yeah, that's their big cycle, right? Karmic release here. They had to release really. I even feel that they might have been having like a very unhelpful religious belief system. Like some of these, I don't know, Catholic or whatever, where it's like, it's not a really loving theory, but it's, and it's very much where you are disconnected actually from the divine, right? I want to say that. And this creates anxiety because you feel helpless in a way. You feel, yeah, unworthy. I'm hearing, oh, that's a big one. Unworthiness. Oh, okay. So they felt unworthy. Okay. They felt unworthy. Goes very well with shame. So they also have this deep wound, right? And that created apathy. And so I might think that they were showing up more, you know, just playing around or kind of doing nothing actually, and expecting you to come for them. Because if you feel unworthy, you don't dare to show up and say, I want that. I want to court you. I want that. And they wouldn't dare. Because when you are so wounded like that and feeling unworthy, then you just stand there and you take whoever chooses you, right? So this can be mistaken as being in feminine energy, but it's just stunted and kind of cut down masculine, like cut, really, like cut down. I see that image. And also I see like dancing class, you know, and then who picks you, these kind of energies. And so they, instead of trying, going for something and then being rejected. So here is a strong fear of rejection. Absolutely. A strong fear of rejection. Oh, the runes want to speak. Okay, thanks. And what is that about, this fear of rejection? One is already jumping out, and it's 𝓢𝓸𝓾𝓵, it's the gift. Yeah, so they want to come, intentionally come forward. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot, thanks. I saw that also right now before, yes. So that's Lagos, that's Source, that's... Yes, you are protected. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. And this is literally like the Ace of Cups energy. It's source flowing, it's divine feminine, it's your higher self. And here, 𝓢𝓸𝓾𝓵, that's about, just like we see it here, full loyalty, full, like true friendship, true, what's it called even? Yeah, I mean, loyalty is the best I can say. And for the Vikings, that's like the horse is your best friend, and that's why this rune also goes with the horses, you know. But it's just this energy of you have the full support of another being. Full support goes here with the love. And this, of course, can be very well seen as a twin flame energy. It's absolutely mirrored. or just, you know, soul recognition. Yeah. Bliss goes with, oh, manas. So that's human. Wow. That's interesting. That's, see, this is like two humans stretching out their arms and meeting. It's totally similar to the Two of Cups. Like crazy. When you reach out, you know, like that, and then hold someone else's hands, and you connect and you work together, and it's all about the togetherness. Wow. Togetherness in bliss. That sounds great. And here, ooh, I love that. So this is absolutely you being loaded, energized, and you reach, you breathe, you bridge the underworld and the highest realms. So what I said before, you know, with the cosmic womb and all that, but this is very much it speaks about the Jew tree who is planted on graveyards where the roots reach deep into the underworld, and it also speaks about the wood of that tree is used to build bows, and so the energy of that rune is literally the accumulation of energy. And you know, I said pneumatics before, this you know, being an energetic being, literally. And so now you are kind of fueled with energy, right? Because of the deep root work you did. And you kind of, and I said that before, wow, that here is the energy, the minerals from the roots are now in your water. Yes, you have gotten access to these deep, and this is wisdom, right? You have access to deep wisdom, but also it's just energetics, because this rune speaks about how when we stretch the bow back to the fullest, then the arrow, of course, goes the furthest and the widest. You know, bliss, life is meaningful again, like high energy. We see it even here, high energy. And it's like you are so fueled now, and you shall kind of honor your purpose, I feel. Totally honor that. Wow. Okay, and while I was putting the runes away, they showed me 3 others, and this is the recycling here. Yes, for the soil, absolutely. Absolutely, and it says harvest. Brown noise again, let's put it here. And you are protected. And you have this raw force, right? Raw divine force. I'm not sure where to put it yet. I kind of feel, oh yeah, so see, here underneath is a hill somewhere. There it belongs, underneath the hill, because this is what you have connected here to. It's like the strength from the bones of your ancestors, the strength from, you know, the core essence of your past life experiences. That's kind of that, and it's this raw, divine feminine force. You can draw from that, like primordial. This is primordial strength here. And this is harvesting and protection. I want to put that here. Like the higher realms are protecting you. And now I want to get, okay, they say an angel card for here, right? And see, this is also, I said, Hermit, and the Hermit card speaks about tuning into our Akashic records with the green, and it's a green network, yeah, kind of where you can, with your original card, where there are all the threads, where you can follow these threads, like soul searching, and find the encapsulated skills, what I just mentioned, of your past lives. So you did that, right? And that's why. And it goes very deep, primordial here. So yeah, that's why you can expect, oh, what can we expect even? Wow, I love that one. So it says truth and integrity. And we do have a bunch of beautiful angels who want to be covered with rose petals because they are incredible beautiful. Okay. So a lot of rose petals. Have I got everything? So yeah, beautiful roses. And that's what you got. Truth and integrity. And integrity that totally confirms, you know, yeah, I'm drawn back to enslavement and shame, where it's the deepest wounds, and you have integrated that. And that's what we do with shadow energy. We integrate them as wisdom to be able to draw from. And that's where what that's for, you know. It's not for to stay there like laying on the battlefield and feeling the pain all over again and all over again and all over again. No, it's meant to gain the wisdom to kind of empty the lesson, right? And then here, hello, over there, you're called. But of course you need rest. Everyone understands that, they say. And, ooh, a love message, okay. So, and how can you best express love right now and multiply love? Yeah. Oh, rest and relaxation is essential. Yes, we all have a fundamental need to take a break. Yeah, so whenever you want that, and this brings back this primordial strength, you know, and this is so, so, so important. And also I feel then you get your downloads, see, because it's meant to be here. Absolutely on top of your hermit, where I said you do the soul searching. So yeah, your rest is purposeful. So schedule it. I'm hearing that all the time because I'm kind of a person who likes to overdo it a little bit every now and then. But yeah. I love that. I love that. With the rest, I kind of feel I want to get a clue there. Oh. Leo. Creativity. So the rest is literally for your God self, right? This Leo, that's divine masculine actually. And this is creative energy, creator energy. So you rest means you create. Okay, there's a direct link. That's how you manifest. Rest, dream into the brown noise, be in bliss, feel that, and listen to readings if you feel like, right? Because the prophecy, that's preparation, but also you can get that in your own dream world, of course. Yeah. So that's a powerful, powerful, powerful reading and a beautiful message. And with your person, you know, you have seen where they were working through, coming from, or not coming from rather, right? If you come from apathy, you are not coming. But if they come now, then you understand, they have overcome their deepest wound, and their deepest wound was not acting, not trying it at all. And if they come with something that sounds like intention, then ooh, they've done it. They done their work, okay? If they just say hi and then nothing else, then they are still kind of hanging here and they want you to pick them. And that's not, that would, 11, that wouldn't bring you forward, because they need to heal from that very wound, right? So it's your purpose to create the bliss, I guess. So rest and tune into bliss, which is kind of something they can catch on to through the bridge. And you also can envision them and kind of call them in, standing in, intentional in love and reverence. That's how you would receive them, right? So, and then of course, whatever happened in your story needs to be a little bit addressed. But the main thing is like recognizing, okay, so we had these things to overcome, and we also have a purpose to live. Okay, so it's like, okay, that's there and that's there, and we can separate ourselves from these past old versions, and that goes for both of us, and that also goes for the third thing, which is our relationship, which I feel did not grow at all. So there wasn't much happening, except then you maybe felt you were not chosen, but that just meant if there was someone else with a 3 of swords here, that would just be someone who chose your person, right? Someone who, because your person was clearly someone like standing with the back to the wall, not acting. And there are, of course, other people who can then just go there and kind of take them, pick them. Because your person was clearly like a pygmy, I want to say. So with this, anxiety and apathy and, I'm, indifferent, like, life wouldn't happen for me anyway. And if someone then comes and like, oh, I like you, then they would, spring on, hop aboard, I feel like, immediately, without even checking what ship they are on. It's just like, oh, they like me. Oh, great. I'm something, I'm liked. Wow. I'm liked. So, and this speaks about a very deep wound, of course. And we had that like unworthiness wound. That was the thing, yeah, unworthiness. I want to stress that, because when they come forward, you have to understand they felt unworthy of you. They felt unworthy of that big vision. And of course, you both being, I guess, very high, frequency beings, they also could tune in to these frequencies, and that kind of, I guess, freaked them out, and it was just too much. And they were thinking, no, I cannot sit on that chair. That's too big. And maybe there is a clear past life where it hadn't worked out, in England, I guess. Yes, where they were really beaten down, I feel. Beaten down from life. And like beaten the worth out of them. Like with this deep solar plexus wound, they carry something like that. Okay? And also some religious baggage. Okay? Just so you know, and so you are prepared, and so you can receive them best. And of course, receiving has all to do with non-action here. Because you just rest and dream, please, and move like swiftly and smoothly into your era of bliss. And understand your life is meaningful, and you do carry a very, very, very important core, what's the word? Door, they say, like, yeah, like a portal. Okay, you are carrying seeds for a portal, and I guess the portal, that's literally the two of you, you know, really this merging soul core, the diamond core, and building this high level spiritual gateway then for high frequencies to enter Earth, literally. So you can create that. And I do feel you can create that kind of within yourself. And just building the bridge with the higher realms, I feel that. So I don't want to leave you with, oh, you need your person to complete your purpose. No, that's not what I'm saying. But they clearly could fuel that bridge, right? They could fuel that bridge a lot. And they already do that, I guess, like from the higher realms. So no matter, you know, what happens in the 3D, and I'm hearing the birds right now. So no matter what happens in the 3D, they already, you know, fuel that. Because you both are, of course, mainly existing in high energetics somewhere. And this portal creation here in the 3D realm, that's just, you know, what you do, right? That's why you are here. And yeah. So, you are a portal. And that's, of course, clearly why you had to, you know, go through all these past life, open all these past life doors to become the full embodiment of who you are, like as a soul. Monad, right? Oversoul, monad. Like you are a, I want to say a chunk of the divine, which sounds ridiculous, but you know how I mean it. Like you're a nugget. Like really, and I mean that so that you really feel it. It's, you are materialized. So this really means, they showed it in my head, right? This really means like you are materialized. You are embodying so much of the divine now, like the divine essence, that it's not, you know, only frequencies, but it's really materialized in your human. Wow. With that here, you know, on your lap, it's like, yeah, you have this really chunk of energy. Wow. You don't even see that, I feel. Wow, just imagine, like you are sitting there with this vast, and this is incredible, actually. Wow. Okay. And this is why you're the magician. But you, because you just went through battle and storms, right? You don't even know what to do with that. It's like, nice. They are showing me really this image of, you know, natives, and then you give them a gold nugget like this size, and they are like, yeah, what to do with that? Like, okay, I can put it there, you know, it looks nice, but what to do with that? So and you, this is how you sit there right now with all your energy, and you still haven't figured out how to make use of that. You do not see the value in what you have yet, I feel. So, and it's all this brown noise here, right? This fertile soil you have created, and you are used to the desert, right? And then so now you suddenly have fertile soil, and it's like, oh, okay, so now I can plant seeds, actually, really, and they will grow, and no one will come and cut them down again, and I must not, you know, be ready to pack and leave again, and, you know, get away and hide. No, you must not. You're protected, you're safe, you can plant now, your garden is safe. Yes, safe. Wow. So start planting, and no matter if you're 90, right? Start planting. Your life is meaningful. There was a purpose to that. And it even makes sense if you're a little bit older with all the storms. So that speaks about, indigos and maybe even Blu-ray. So, yeah. And they are linked to, you do have an ascended master self, I want to say. You are an ascended master. Let me say it like that, because that's how it is. So, yes. Okay, we can exit with one card. So one aura soma card. Like, who's working with you in the higher? That's so interesting. Violet, purple, magenta, and violet, purple, magenta. Wow. So the first is the two colors, like it's violet and purple, magenta. And if you shuffle it, it becomes purpur. And I literally wrote something about purpur way back. Because, it was the purpur snakes. And also, the color purple, right? The book. And translated into my language, they made the color lila out of that. And I was like, what? Like the color violet. And I was like, what? That's not at all what that's saying, because purple, that's such an ignition, and that's a connection to earth core. Makes sense? Yes. But let me look at the card. Wow, that's amazing. So I was reading about the card right now, but while I was going here to my browser, I also saw for my child, and now we are full cycle. I started the reading, if you remember, because it's a long time. 144, oh my goodness. Yeah, and there was, universities, some tabs open still, but I found for my child actually a university where he can do a dual study. So half-time work, half-time study. And I feel that's so relevant, because that's kind of attuned, accustomed to him, like what fits him best. And it's not the old paradigm, not at all. So we kind of have exited that for his future already. See what I mean? So it's not about tuning into the old, like, paradigm, old matrix creation, where he would anyway study, things from what someone has written down decades ago. But now he is at an international university who do some things online, but also, in real, in a campus. But they are doing half-time theory and half-time practice work, which is so cool, because it's all about getting the young ones empowered with the very first step. And then create a connection. So it's divine feminine and masculine in alignment, basically, what we are speaking about. And strengthening the connection, right, in the brain, like what I did yesterday, yeah, now I understand, right? And it's all that. So very good. So whatever you do, think about, your purpose work, think about how this applies, right? Doing it practical and mixing it up, like with both elements, like theory and practicality, okay, and spirituality and practicality, and then whatnot, and also like tailor fit it to yourself, to your needs, what really makes you happy, because that's what we thought about, like what would suit him best, literally what's absolutely best for his purpose. So, and then look, like, what is out there. Maybe there is something you haven't known before, right? And or maybe you create that for others. I don't know. But yeah, that came through. And this, actually, the Ascended Master Pallas Athena is here, which is, you know, the wisdom, the owl, the study, the university, all that. We do have it here, and it's the rescue remedy for the crown chakra. And I will read a little bit, and I have to translate it while I'm reading. So this SOS oil brings the chance with it to deeply, deeply, deeply experience and like uproot, you know. It speaks about going to the ground of it, of the spiritual dimension of life and the laws of karma. Like totally. So this was the opportunity in that here, right? And it supports you to release all negative energies and old conditioning with the university, you know. and one other example, the old paradigm university, they do have an NC, like where only the ones with the best marks get immediate access to the university. And then the new one, they don't have that at all. They say, no, we don't need that, because we do meet with you and we just take a full picture of your strength, like your personal, unique strength. And that helps us to find the right partner where you can work with, where your strength fit best. And isn't that just cool? Like, that's New Earth already unfolding. Wow. For me, that's amazing. You know, it's just like a miracle that this is now possible. We actually have that, right? Already established on Earth, where a university meets with a student and tailor fits the study around the student, who is, of course, the centerpiece, right? And it's about their life, of course. And they do kind of a service, right? And it costs money, yes, but the money is paid from the company where they work. So it's a very, very cool, like, win-win-win situation where everyone just wins. The student, the company, and the university, everyone wins. It's just cool, okay? And this is how we should build. Yeah, 717, wow. This is how we should build. So both win and the purpose is winning, right? Win, win, win. I just said that. Yeah, like 3 of Pentacles. Everything is growing. So back to Pallas Athena. Yeah, so yeah, and when we release these energies, we have this recycling process, of course, we spoke about a lot, and it frees potential. Yes. And yeah, it's all about the transition state and how you are supported in that. So very, very nice to come back into, yeah, it's because it's hard to really release those long trod on path. As I said with the university, that's a very, very great example to understand that, to have a picture for that. Like, this is how we always did it. We only took the best because that's what university is about. No, it's not. It's higher education must be like hand-tailored to the brain that we want to develop, and the heart, of course. You know, my son is studying social work, so it comes absolutely from the heart. Yes. So it really, yeah, it goes so well with the rest. So it really speaks about a lot here about how it is a thing to really let go of. Also the thinking, the thought patterns, you know, with the Ten of Swords, where it was like, oh, I have to be vigilant, and of course I have to be vigilant because, you know, because I have experienced that yesterday and the day before yesterday and the day before that also. So now, of course, I'm vigilant. Yes, we understand that, they say. We totally get that. And that's why you are kept under that very umbrella. That's that umbrella. And you are kept safe through that transition. And like bit by bit, tune into your bliss and just see that it is really possible. It is. It is. Yeah, so beautiful. Anything I missed? I feel the last sentence here, it's so nice, like with the intention also in your person's energy here, like it's about direct, like redirect, newly direct your energies. New and positive, what's that, right? And this goes well with the bow and the arrow, like redirect, yes, redirect your focus, they are saying, and deepen your spiritual bonds with that, because you kind of reach higher now, I hope. And it also speaks about, yes, have trust and feel that you are part of something bigger than you, right? Absolutely. And this all starts with this deeper connectedness with self. So it's absolutely about all that. We spoke about that a lot, yes. So I think that's just wonderful that we had that. And I do want to put it actually here to the umbrella, because that's where it belongs, okay? Palace, I think. Thank you that you're here. See, the violet umbrella. And yeah, and so let's get the flow going here, the rainbow bliss, okay? Oh, and I do have, for some reason, I have kind of created a bond here. Interesting. Okay, so I wish you all the best, and this is, I guess, one of the longest readings I ever did. And I don't even feel like I do want to do a Ho'oponopono right now, but do it for yourself if you feel like, okay? But I love you. I do a quick one. I love you. I forgive you. Thank you. And have I forgotten something? What? Ooh. Yeah, so funny. That was literally higher self energy coming through, like totally happy. So yeah, so let's do that again, really, actually, like properly. So you are saying, right? I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I feel this is literally also, we forgive, you know, that you needed to go through all that. And then, yeah, we say, thank you. I forgive you. I am happy now, right? Totally. And I love you. I feel that. So I feel so happy. That's why I even didn't want to do that. But yeah, I just love you. And I just feel happy. So I hope you feel like that too. Like I feel so happy. So happy and so connected, like with myself. The energy is very, very, very super. And I can't even remember what's underneath here. It's half out of the energy. So I know it's there, but I don't feel it in my heart. You know, my heart is fully open now. And I hope that reaches you. Like really, it's this, yeah, I'm happy and I start getting excited for the future, which is helpful. You know, we can shift from anxiety to excitement because it feels so similar. And sometimes even when, you know, the new life wants to come in with excitement, we're like, no, we block that. And this is a thing your person is prone to do. by the way. Like, no, that feels dangerous. Okay. So it supports the whole process, right? To tune into the new and to get excited and to get, future miracle readings and new timelines unfolding and all that, and purpose, soul mission, empowerment, I want to say. Like, do that, like focus on that, like focus on you. Just what I did with my kid. And I spent, an hour yesterday to create a few sentences for what sums it all up, his values and all that. Like, do that for yourself. Like, sit down and create a little, these are my strengths, and this is what I can share and provide, and this is why my life is meaningful. This is the deeper meaning. And my channel is all about the deeper meaning beyond what's happening. So really deep tarot talk. And so, yeah, what's the deeper meaning of that story? And we have unfolded quite a bit, I guess. Quite a bit. Where you can be very proud of yourself, I feel like, very proud, instead of being ashamed, right? Be proud of yourself. I feel that, like, ooh, and this feels a little bit scary to be proud, but it's fine, because you're just proud, and this is healthy solar plexus chakra. You are allowed to be proud of your accomplishments. Absolutely. And I have to tell you, I'm from Germany, and I can't stand spiritual talk in German language, because it's all about, oh, now we are allowed to feel this. And oh yes, you are allowed to. And I could vomit immediately, because it's so wrapped in this false paradigm of spirituality is something, so much bigger, like this big Godhead what Catholics also have carrying around, right? Or some other religions, where it's really like you are so small and the divine is so big. And this is not at all how it is, right? You need to become one, and you are, right? And of course, you can be full of joy, passion, and even pride, healthy pride. This is not speaking about pride in the sense of I'm entitled or I'm better, because healthy pride, that's basically but just joy of accomplishment. When you are a kid and you do a good jump and you're like, wow, I did that magnificent, like, wow, you feel that joy, like in sports, right? You feel that. Yeah, I hit that, right? I hit that, and that was great. And so this is the energy you should kind of tune into, I feel. And this is healthy proudfulness, pridefulness. I don't know if this word exists, but it's like resource. We allow us to feel resourceful, right? So, and the same with pride, that's about the wands energy, about, yes, I did that. Like, I actually did, I created that, right? This is mine, like, claim that. This is my life. This is my purpose. This is my accomplishment. You are allowed to claim that. Again, you are allowed. Of course you are. What the F, right? Of course you are, because it's yours. It's yours. It's your life. This big thing here, this is your life. And all the energy here, it's yours. And you create your life with your energy. So of course you can be, like, look around and find just one thing you like. I don't know. I like this oracle deck. I bought it with my energy. And I kind of, and this I even created myself. And I like it very much. If you like it, I haven't kind of, maybe when this reading will be out, I will have linked it. So I never mentioned that. But yeah, check the description box. I film everything kind of in advance. So yeah, and then I open it for public when I feel like the time is ripe. But yeah, check the description box. Maybe you can buy my wonderful manifestation deck. And oh, we do have 2 further cards here. This is literally the calming release, and this is saying you can create your own world now. I guess I have to read them. Yeah, because that's exactly how I'm feeling. Like, you hear me. Oh, wow, crazy. So, Royal Rising is the balloon, and it says, you have done an amazing job. Like, you did that. That's what I'm saying. You freaking did that. So take accountability for what you did. The good things you did. Like, it's yours. Okay, claim it. You have done an amazing job healing your root chakra. The old baggage is cut off now. Yes. The sky is yours. Yes. And you are rising high. Yes. Literally. Absolutely. That's what's happening. You are freaking rising high. What is that? Yeah. And we do have people, other humans supporting you, actually supporting you. Like, and this is crazy, you know, if you have been cut off constantly before. And also this, very wonderful. It says unified field. So this is you. Congrats, your yin and yang is in perfect balance. You can create your own world now. Feel the sacred flame within. Dance, yes, like dance in bliss, joy, and create. Bam, that's so cool. And the sacred flame, that was what was, you know, cut down with shame. Because shame sits in the sacral. And that's why they did that to you. Blaming and shaming. So that you cannot create. But guess what? You can now, because you cut that off. I don't want to go back there. But yeah, so that's it basically. Now we are done. Good. And see, this is all you. But I guess if your person so have done the work and are kind of getting their bones ready. I just saw an image of someone, you know, laying in the dirt, like already moss is growing. Like they are like totally with this apathy, like totally like half sunken in their underground. And then they kind of, you know, rattling the rusty armor and then digging, yeah, like cleansing it a little bit, like putting the dust away. And then they, I'm sorry, but it's so funny. And then they go on the rusty horse, and then they come towards you, and then with this rusty voice, they're like, I'm here now. So if they come forward a little bit strange, just know that's why. So much rust and dust. But I guess you can clean them very fast. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm not sorry, because it's such a beautiful energy. And I'm so glad I did that reading, though I guess it's 2 hours and I have no idea how I will fit all 3 readings into, you know, my storage here on the phone. Oof, that will be a thing. But so yeah, a lot of energy, right? A lot of energy, like you will be kind of overworked, I feel. You know, and I don't even mean like the booked and busy thing, but I just mean like overflow of creativity, totally. Like, ooh, where can I even, you know, put that? Like, I don't know, you could write, you know, 3 symphonies all at once, kind of this energy, and not only play this one solo with your violin we started with, but it's like full orchestra now, like, ooh. And like, which instrument comes first? Like, you want to, you know, you are all, you can play it all. Wow, so wonderful. Here you are, by the way. I want to dig you out there. Hello. Come forward now. Yes. Jump in here. Yeah. Go. Go into your bliss. Huh. Not that. Athena is holding space there. Protecting you. Okay? So you can leave her with the battlefield, and she's also the goddess of war, not only wisdom, war and wisdom, I guess. Is that correct? I'm not sure, but I said it, so actually I guess that's Aphrodite, right? But so she might be here to love and war. But yeah, mostly it's really about the wisdom and the protection and the crown. And ooh, you are anointed. Love that. Okay, bye-bye, group 1. I hope that helped. I hope I see you soon. I hope you have liked the freaking video, and I hope you subscribe and leave me a comment. And I love you so much, and thank you for being here, and thank you for everything you do. And whew,